maybe they get in, even though their resume isn't flashy, because now they've got their point guard
I
back?
think so.
Does that matter?
I think it does matter. I mean, we'll have to bring Joe Lunardi is he's on vacation now.
He doesn't get vacation.
We'll bring him in the mix in January, but I think that is important. The committee members is not made up of the NCAA people. They're made up of athletic directors and such. So I think they'll have a common sense theme to that, if that's the case. And I think that will be the case. I think Texas will be a bubble team with him. Yeah, likely. So, all right, Texas again at Michigan State. They play at 2 o'clock Eastern today. So right about now they're firing up over on ESPN2. And again, coming up in moments here, Bradley Center, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You get Marquette and LSU. Now, what else do we have for you tonight on ESPNU? 18th-ranked San Diego State in action, as is 5th-ranked Louisville and number 4 Arizona, all coming up tonight right here on ESPNU. All right, what's going on in football? R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, East Carolina, Louisiana Lafayette, Terrence Broadway. Insert pun here, 10-yard touchdown, Cajuns up 7-zip. Then Broadway to Jamel Robinson. Down to the 6. Good-looking throw and catch. They scored on the next play, 21-7 Ragin' Cajuns. Following a punt, Alonzo Harris, 68 yards. He's gone. Cajuns up 28-7. But here come the Pirates. Shane Carden finds Justin Hardy. Oh, Hardy. That would be an awesome board nominee if College Football Daily was still in effect every day. I would think, wow, how about that catch, huh? 28-14. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Louisiana Lafayette fumbles, ECU gets it back, and then Danny Webster touchdown. We've got ourselves a ball game here. Louisiana Lafayette did kick a field goal going into half, 31-21, the score down in New Orleans. That leads us to what to watch for another bowl game today. There are 2 in total. 3:30 Eastern, ESPN. It's the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas. Pacific Northwest battle as Steve Sarkisian's Washington Huskies take on Chris Peterson's Boise State Broncos. A 10-win season yet again for Boise. A win would make it 5 straight 11-win seasons for them. News and notes from around the country. Tom Crean says Jeremy Hollowell has not played this week. It's a personal matter. He stresses it is not any kind of off-court violation or academic situation. It is simply a personal matter. Brendan Kay going to start over Munchie Lego for Cincinnati in the Belk Bowl against Duke. And Lake Seastrunk for Baylor says, you know what, I'm going to win the Heisman next year. Over on ESPN2, here it is. We're down to the wire. 2-point game. Temple leading 74-72 over undefeated and 3rd-ranked Syracuse. Again, over on ESPN2 right now, Syracuse about to go to the free throw line. All right, LSU, Marquette. Biggest thing we want to watch for here. Well, Marquette's got to get their offense back in order. I mean, they've got to get some sort of rhythm. They've got to find that 2nd and 3rd score. They had a rough game at Wisconsin, Green Bay. And Johnny Jones is doing a nice job at LSU in his first year. He's got some good athletes.
Adam Amin, Brooke Weisbrod have the call. Tim and I will see you at halftime. Marquette, LSU, enjoy.
You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers.
A pair of 7-win teams square off in Milwaukee today, where Marquette is riding a 14-game home win streak, led by Jamil Wilson, who suddenly found his shooting touch. Meanwhile, LSU is led by Johnny O'Brien III, a double-double machine. Big non-conference game early in the season coming up next. Happy holidays to you and yours from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers from the Bradley Center, where the Marquette Golden Eagles have won 14 consecutive games. LSU and Marquette, both 7-win teams coming in. And alongside Coastal Carolina Hall of Famer Brooke Weisbrod, Adam Amin on hand. Could be an interesting matchup today with 2 teams that play similar styles.
Yeah, both these teams match up very well. Both up-tempo teams, defensive, tough, get in your face. So when you've got 2 teams that play a similar style, the one thing that's going to edge the other out is maturity. This is their last game before the holiday break, so you can't be worried about opening presents, eating some of mom's cooking. Got to focus for 40 minutes.
Well, let's dive into our one-on-one. 2 guys who are at the forefront of these teams, but for different reasons.
Siobhan Coleman is a guy who comes off the bench. He leads the team in scoring. But Johnny Jones says his energy level is unbelievable. These guys will feed off of that. And for Marquette, that energy guy is Junior Cadogan. Two guys, number 5. Who's going to prevail tonight? Junior Cadogan's got to be the guy to handle the LSU pressure up front and take care of the basketball.
This is an LSU team that forces 17 turnovers a game. Very good defensively. They've got Johnny O'Brien III and Andrew Del Piero in the front court. Two guys that have a lot of polish to their game already. Meanwhile, Marquette at 7-3 on the season. Mentioned Cadogan, Trent Lockett, the transfer from Arizona State. Vanderblue is their leading scorer. Their second leading scorer comes in off the bench. That's Devontae Gardner. Johnny Jones, the former LSU player, former LSU assistant, has interviewed for this job 3 times, finally got it. Now in his first season at LSU and off to a 7-1 start. Meanwhile, Buzz Williams signed a long-term extension last year after the NCAA tournament in 2011. 4 years at Marquette, 4 NCAAs in the Sweet 16 each of the last 2 years. They had their best season under Buzz Williams last year, 27 wins, finishing second in the Big East. Del Piero and Chris Otule in the center circle for the tip. Thrown up there by Tim Clockerty, and Marquette starts with a basketball. Marquette, 14-game home win streak. They're 7-3, coming off of a loss, though, against Green Bay, 49-47. The Phoenix slowed that game down.
Played a 3-2 zone. LSU may look to mix it up, go man-to-man. Marquette with an early good start and a bucket right away.
Junior Cadogan, who's a true point guard. Both of these teams have a true point guard at the helm. Johnny O'Brien III, the double came over from Juan Anderson. Rotated for a 3 from Andre Stringer, and he can really shoot from the outside, 38% of the season.
Yeah, this is a very proficient 3-point shooting team. They hit 10 of them at him against Boise State and 9 against 3 other teams. So you've got a guard behind the line.
Solid move from Trent Lockett, the transfer out of Arizona State, a native of Minnesota. Came back closer to home. LSU, their lone loss, as Brooke mentioned, to Boise State. They're coming off a win against UC Irvine. Carmouche can stroke it from 3. Out there guarding him, Lockett. Collins with 8 to shoot. Looks for Del Piero, and that's cut off by Lockett. To Vanderblue, the team's leading scorer, puts it in.
That's Marquette basketball right there. Forced the turnover. Lockett baited LSU into passing to Pietro, got into the passing lane. Terrific steal and a nice finish.
LSU averages 77 points a game. That's top 5 in the SEC. They lead the SEC in steals per game in the early part of the season. Johnny O'Brien III, rebounded by Otule. Just like last year, even though they don't have the same scores, no Darius Johnson-Odom, they don't have Jake Crowder, the Big East Player of the Year anymore, but Marquette still likes to push the tempo.
They do, and the key to Marquette is getting in that half-court set and being confident with the shots that you take. That's not a great shot there. You don't want to have a fading jumper. Good job by Otule to grab that board.
Good second effort from Lockett going to the line.
Marquette defense getting into that passing lane. That's a great steal there by the senior Trent Lockett. Break the defense into making a decision. Help side comes, and Vanderblue comes in for the finish.
Golden Valley, Minnesota native Trent Lockett graduated in 3 years at Arizona State, still had a year of eligibility left. He wanted to move closer to home. His mom, Judy, was diagnosed with cancer last spring. He's actually in remission now, which is good news. Narrowed his search to Iowa State and Marquette, ended up choosing Marquette.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to earn that degree in 3 years. They led Arizona State in scoring and rebounding, but the team finished 10th in the Pac-12, just was not a good team. So he's got a great fit here. He says this place fits his mindset. He says he's a linear thinker. He has to have consistency in the program.
Carmouche can shoot from 3, but he's been struggling this season. Vanderblue with the left hand, tough finish, got it to go. Marquette's up 7, and an early timeout from Johnny Jones.
Buzz Williams just looked at Juan Anderson, wants to make sure he's all right. This is the strength right here. Junior Cadogan drives. You draw the defense in. Then he looks for Vanderblue, who's curling behind him to the open spot. great guards, great shooting guards, Adam, will find a spot to relocate to when somebody else is driving. Vanderblue slid in right behind him. Cadogan found the pass, and Vanderblue attacked. And I love that finish with the left hand.
Good start shooting for Marquette. Again, this is a team that's looking for the guy. They've had the guy. They had Crowder. They had Darius Johnson on them. They had Jimmy Butler a couple of years ago. A lot of NBA talent between Buzz Williams' teams, but they don't have the guy just yet. Still searching for him.
Yeah, they've got 10 players that average at least 10 minutes. So they're still looking for a third consistent scorer besides Vanderblue and Devontae Gardner, who comes off the bench, big-bodied, 6'8", 290 with tremendous footwork. So their strength, when you look at Marquette, is really their bench. Their bench averages 30 points a game.
Bryant the third lost it. Carmouche corrals it. Here's Siobhan Coleman coming in off the bench, trying to give a spark to LSU. Their leading scorer comes in off the bench. Blue, the change of pace, another left-hand finish, and he's got 6.
The stop-and-go move is so critical to the success of some shooting guards because people can get used to your speed, but if you give them a little show and stop, make them commit. Vanderblue with a good hesitation. You're gonna watch here, just the hesitation, pulls up just enough, and that's a great seal there too by Juan Anderson. Seal off the defender and get that lane open. So Vanderblue can come right in and finish the layup.
Chris Atule on the foul. His first. That's off the mark from Andre Stringer, and another whistle inside. A foul against LSU, a loose ball foul.
LSU may want to rethink where they're taking their shots from right now. A lot of three-point shots, and they're open. Marquette's letting them have those shots until they start to beat them from there. But LSU needs to put the ball on the floor. They've been trying to get it into O'Brien, but as soon as they do, Marquette is double teaming. He's got to kick the ball out, and they're settling for threes. I want to see some of those guards put the ball on the floor. Now LSU's in a 2-3 zone.
And they go right over the top of it to Jamil Wilson, who's having a really solid stretch. Guy was still trying to find his offense the last couple of years. He's averaging nearly double figures.
Well, if LSU's going to play a zone, they've only got 3 guys over 6'8". So you saw right there, Marquette's just going to look to go over that back line.
There's Johnny O'Brien the third. He's off the mark. It's a 12-0 Marquette run right now. Their largest lead at 11. The extra pass to Lockett from Blue. A 15-0 run for the Golden Eagles, up by 14. Just 4+ minutes in, and LSU struggling offensively. Stringer, nothing going down for the Tigers. Hickey can't hit it. Vanderblue going high for the rebound against O'Brien. 3 on 4. Wilson the trailer, a 3. In and out.
The ball was basically at the bottom of the net before it decided to jump out of there.
Coleman against Wilson. They'll get a bump against Jamil Wilson. What a start from Marquette, up by 14 on a 15-0 run.
In complete control, but what I like, Adam, is the fact that they're sharing the basketball very well. Trent Lockett on lockdown.
ESPN News exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Look who's back.
Again?
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
We can see you, Carl.
We can totally see you.
Come on, you're better than this. All that prowling around.
Yeah, you're the king of the jungle.
Have you thought about going vegan, Carl?
You know, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy.
How happy are they, Jimmy?
Happier than an antelope with night vision goggles.
Nice.
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
For those with visions of doing this, and this dancing in their heads, we have these Home Depot gift cards. Give the gift of doing, in store or online.
The 2013 Rose Bowl game, New Year's Day on ESPN.
Noka in studio, keeping our eye on third-ranked Syracuse, losing right now 82-79 to Temple. Khalif Wyatt for the Owls, 33 points, and they just knocked in a big free throw. It's a 4-point lead, 8 seconds to go. It looks like Syracuse may lose for the first time this year, guys.
For second all time on that wins list. Marquette off to a great start. You got to look at Todd Mayo, who is academically ineligible for the first 10 games. Buzz Williams said we don't know if he will play in this game because he hasn't been able to work out with the team while he was suspended, was not allowed to work with the team in practice, could not lift with the team, had to work out on his own. He got his grades up, academically eligible, didn't want to say that he was going to dress just yet until Buzz Williams talked to Todd Mayo's mother about it, but he's in there and ready to go.
It's good timing to get him in the game, too, with the lead like this. He comes in, turns the ball over, but at least it lets him get acclimated to the pace again of playing.
Another three for LSU, and they finally knocked one down. 6 of their first 8 attempts were from 3. Finally, after missing 7 consecutive shots, they come down and hit one. Here's Devontae Gardner, second leading scorer for Marquette, comes off the bench. Big body. Really working well. Devontae Gardner had a breakout game about a year ago against St. John's. Ever since, he's been very consistent.
He's a big body. He's got tremendous footwork, and I loved it. He got the ball down in the post and just shoot his other teammate away. I said, don't worry about it. I got this one-on-one. No problem. Get out of there, Jamil.
That's Derek Wilson driving in, drawing a foul. We'll get that one on Anthony Hickey. One of the nation's top teams is on ESPNU later on tonight. Number 5 Louisville in a neutral site game in Nashville against a team that went to the NCAAs a year ago in Western Kentucky. It's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers at 8:30 Eastern tonight on ESPNU. Also available on Watch ESPN. Todd Mayo, the younger brother of O.J. Mayo, now playing for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to get a foul on Del Piero underneath, banging down low with Gardner.
Just a little, John, going on after the play. Nothing too big. I think Gardner's not used to getting pushed off his feet like that. He's a guy that can get his position set. But Del Piero, this is a very interesting story. Now, this is a guy who came to LSU on a music scholarship.
Right.
The tuba player.
The tuba player in the band for the Tigers.
And everybody kept saying, well, do you play basketball? What's your deal? You're 7'3". Don't you play? And he kept telling these students no and got encouraged to go out and start playing some rec ball. Former player Collis Temple said, come on in, play with the students. And a couple years later, a starter. You're an SEC team.
The walk-on turned into a scholarship player this year. Gardner comes out with it for Marquette, up by 13 in the early going. And Derek Wilson all the way home. He said Marquette's still looking for the guy. Well, 6 different players already have scored for the Golden Eagles tonight over their 21-point spread.
It certainly helps when you got a lot of guys that are confident to take the shot. And I think the one thing that troubles you when you go down and run into the shot clock in a tight game, you have to put yourself in those situations in practice to say, who are we going to look for? What are our 1, 2, and 3 best options?
There's Stringer for 3. That's his second of the game. 9 points on 3 threes for LSU in the early going. They're 3 of 9 from outside to start.
Stringer had a tough shooting night against Boise State, but rebounded really well against UC Irvine. He's the kind of player that doesn't let a poor shooting night affect his performance.
Thomas is a good spot-up shooter, the transfer from South Dakota. Jamil Wilson, he found his shooting touch the other night against Green Bay. Continues here. Back up by 14. Gardner altered that shot. Del Piero with a couple of opportunities puts it in. There's the first 2 of the night for LSU. Gardner. That's the finesse that he started to develop last year. Couldn't finish there. Marquette's got a line change waiting to come in. That was way off the mark. from Anthony Hickey. Marquette with wholesale substitutions coming in here. Reset the lineup for you in a moment. Vander Blue with 6 points in the early going. Tule, Blue, and Thomas, along with Cadogan and Juan Anderson on the floor for the 5 starters for Marquette out there.
You know, something I'm noticing the last couple of possessions for LSU, they're playing D on their heels. Not very active, hands are down, not a lot of communication, especially in a zone. You got to be loud and moving and active, because otherwise you're standing basically in the same place. So the guys from Marquette can just pick and pop in the holes and find all the scoring lanes.
Here's Thomas in the corner. Good spot up shooter. Knocks down another Marquette 3. Jake Thomas out of Racine, Wisconsin. Won a state title in the state of Wisconsin. Went to South Dakota. Came back to Marquette.
Attention scouting report. Jake Thomas is a spot up 3-point shooter. Got to be aware of where he is and get a hand on it.
There's Shane Hammock, whose father played for LSU in the early 90s. Was a backup to Shaq for 3 years. There's O'Brien III. Marquette has run a double team at him often. He gets rid of it to Hammock. There's Johnny O'Brien III. Again, a guy who can get a double-double just about any night. There's his first 2. Vander Blue left him wide open and just missed. Offensive rebound for Anderson. Thomas, traveling violation, and that'll take us to a timeout. 13-point lead for the Golden Eagles.
Jake Thomas called for the traveling violation. Jake, you don't like to put the ball on the floor. You're the man in the corner to knock down the 3. Marquette doubling up on LSU.
Marquette off to an excellent start in this ballgame. They've led by as many as 15. They're up 13 here. Back with Brooke Weisbrod, Adam Amin. Really balanced scoring in the early part of this game for Marquette. Trent Lockett, the transfer, leading the way with 7, but a lot of guys getting involved for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they've been very impressed with the way that these guys have played, and between them, they've only missed 1 shot. Lockett with 7, Vander Blue with 6 points. They're sharing the basketball. The spacing has been tremendous. LSU has played a lot of 2-3 zones so far in this first half, but Marquette has picked the pockets of LSU, trying to get in those passing lanes. So they've either been shooting well from the 3, they've passed well against the zone, and then they're attacking as well. I mean, those are the kind of things that pick apart any defense. So Marquette's doing a great job of all angles, especially rebounding from after that game against Green Bay. That was, Buzz Williams said, the slowest game he's ever seen in Division I.
One of the most important things that you were going to talk about over the course of the day was who handles the pressure, who handles the pace of this game. LSU forces 17 turnovers a game. Marquette outstanding handling that pressure early.
Well, it's the passing, it's the spacing.
Right.
But again, LSU's not being very active in their zone. I mentioned a couple minutes ago, if you're going to play 2-3 zone, you got to be extra active, communicate more than normal, get your hands in the lane, because otherwise Marquette can really just see through the holes and find guys in the back lane, which they've done, drive, which they've done, or drive and kick it out for a 3.
10 of LSU's 18 field goal attempts have been from 3-point range. They're 3 of 10 from outside to start tonight.
And Marquette has assisted on 6 of 11 buckets already today.
Tule guarding O'Brien III. Tough shot, couldn't get it to go. And it'll be a foul, loose ball foul against LSU. There's Siobhan Coleman, the junior out of Thibodaux, Louisiana, a junior college transfer out of Texas. Team's leading scorer, but he comes in off the bench at 25 against McNeese State, 18 in that comeback against Seton Hall. Energy guy. Might be important right now for LSU, looking a little flat early.
Yeah, they've got no energy, so they need something. They need somebody to come in and really start the fire there. Marquette's doing a great job on the other end, rebounding. You shoot 3s, you're going to get long rebounds, and they're getting bodies on purple jerseys and blocking out very well.
Cadogan, good rotation, got knocked down, left it short. Johnny Jones said it in that loss to Boise State. They got out-rebounded by 17. That's their only loss this year.
Boise State also had 22 second-chance points, so if you don't rebound, at least the second-chance points. They also had 30 points off of Tiger turnovers.
Hickey can't hit the 3. 3 of 11 from outside LSU. Cadogan pushing the pace, 3-on-3. Lockett. Rolled off. LSU trying to come back. Hammock a little bit too much on it, and Juan Anderson is claiming he never touched it. Michael Stevens claimed on the original call that it should be LSU basketball. He checks with Tim Clockerty.
He was looking for a little help. I don't think he was 100% sure of the call. So
Right. That's the way to do it.
the right call. Yeah, absolutely.
Anderson will come out. I like that substitution from Buzz Williams. Anderson a little frustrated. Takes him out. Calm him down a little bit as he talks to Brad Autry on the sideline. Jamil Wilson's back in. John Cal, our lead official, comes over to check on something. Johnny O'Brien III is being taken over to the bench. Maybe a little blood in the mouth for Johnny O'Brien III. Some news and notes while we have a moment. We heard it from Dari Noka. Syracuse loses to Temple. Another season where Temple knocks off a ranked opponent. They're very solid. I was in Notre Dame last night watching Jack Cooley go for 20 and 10 in the first half. And Jabari Parker chooses Duke. You saw it on ESPNU earlier this week.
Duke is so stacked, aren't they? It's unbelievable.
Oh,
but,
when are they not? Come on. Now.
Right, true. But Temple's really athletic. You know, I watched them in a game earlier this season. We'll see him as when St. Louis comes into town. Looking forward to that game. You know, sometimes I think Syracuse in the beginning, they don't play that tough of a schedule. So you've got a team like Temple coming in. Sometimes they get, knock them off their feet a little bit. You punch them back. You're not used to that kind of athleticism that's come in. They play a lot of home games. It's a good win for Temple.
Yeah, Jim Boeheim stuck at 900. Looks like if they win out, he'll surpass Bobby Knight against Rutgers in the opener of Big East. Marquette, good ball movement. That's a good tip away by Malik Morgan for LSU. He saved the easy two. Hickey going up top for Johnny O'Brien III. Does that get LSU going a little bit?
There's your energy play right there. And look how much more active you are. You see, they're engaged now in that zone. They need plays like that to spark them up.
O'Brien III is going to get whistled for a foul. That's going to be his second. That's huge.
Give credit to Malik Morgan for starting this play here and finishing with the athletic dunk there. Johnny O'Brien, good leaper, good timing, right in the wheelhouse.
LSU assists on 57% of its field goals. The biggest reason for that is because they play solid defense, force turnovers, and run.
Yeah, Johnny Jones told me the other day that their turnovers are a little high, but he said the reason for that is our guys are being too unselfish. It's not because of mental mistakes we're making or trying to do too much. It's because we're passing the ball one too many times.
Gardner, for a big guy, shoots the free throw pretty well, 76%. Missed 8 games last year, though, due to a sprained left knee. He's lost some weight, which is taking some pressure off of his knees now, which is surprising considering he's 290.
Yeah, Jerry Wainwright, one of the assistants here at Marquette, said he's lost close to 40 pounds. Yeah. It's amazing. He's got, like I said, he's got good footwork. Marquette going with the, it's like a 1-2-1-1 pressure, it's a light pressure. Slow LSU down.
Ryan the third. He has not hit from outside of 15 feet in this game. Cadogan pushing the tempo. Not a good pass. Looking for Gardner in traffic. Hickey. Over Jamil Wilson. Taken off the rim by Lockett. Marquette back the other way. They've got numbers. Vander Blue. Gardner bodied up against Johnny O'Brien III to open up the lane.
Terrific play there by Gardner, and they read each other well. Gardner made eye contact with Blue, and they read each other, and Blue went in for the finish. Here's the play here. Just that little hesitation move. They lock eyes, and Gardner backs him out of the way. That's a big body there. 290 pounds is going to move you out of the way. Johnny O'Brien doesn't have a chance at that one.
Vander Blue off to a good start. As is Marquette, still shooting hot, 12 of 20 from the floor. We got Jamil Wilson for his second foul here. A couple of free throws coming for LSU from Siobhan Coleman. It's the 4th team foul against the Golden Eagles. One start this year. Johnny Jones likes him coming off the bench. Andre Stringer's back in. He's knocked down 2 threes tonight.
Coleman played all 5 positions in high school, and Johnny Jones is very complimentary about him. Says he never complains about whatever role he's given. Sometimes they got to put him in that 4 spot. He's a little undersized. And in that furious comeback against Seton Hall, they were down 16. They put Siobhan in the front line of the press.
Right.
Kept his energy level up the entire time.
Wilson missed it. That ball came loose right to Gardner. Active hands for Marquette. Mayo is in the thick of that. 6 for Devontae Gardner. 32 for Marquette in this first half. Still with 8 minutes to go. Johnny O'Brien III finds Carmouche. Got the 3. That's a big shot for LSU.
LSU will run quite a few sets out of a 1-4 high UCLA set. On that last exchange, Adam, Johnny O'Brien got his leg caught under, came up grimacing. I don't know if he's hurt, but definitely hurt him.
Marquette up by 12. When we come back, we'll talk about the buzzer beater from Rodney Clark that gave Marquette one of its 3 losses. Through the Maui Invitational on November the 19th, Marquette was off to a great start this season, but with a lead, Rodney Clark for Butler. And this is something that Rodney Clark has gotten into a habit of doing, just flipping him up from just about anywhere on the floor. He buries a 3 in awkward fashion to knock off Marquette. Butler would go to the finals of the Maui Invitational, lose to Illinois. But Rodney Clark has really developed a reputation for being just a quick trigger guy. He'll shoot from anywhere on the floor. That game against Indiana last week when they knocked him off, he was shooting from 35 feet, it felt like, just about every time.
Watching that play again, it didn't even look like he looked where the rim was. He just got this amazing feel. Maybe he should play quarterback. He knows where the target is. That was some shot.
Buzz Williams said that they've had these stretches of 36 hours. We're in Maui, came back 36 hours later, had to play Florida. 36 hours later, we're playing again. It was kind of a tough stretch in the early part of the season for Marquette. Again, already 10 games in. Buzz Williams not using that as an excuse. He knows that the energy level was bad the other night against Green Bay in that 3rd loss of the season, and the energy level today has been very high. The shoot-around was very energetic today as well for Marquette. Buzz Williams shoot-arounds are just as intense as practices. Coleman working. Good defense by Jamil Wilson.
Adam, any coach will tell you once they get back to Hawaii, usually that next game is brutal. Nobody ever plays well.
Wilson to Gardner. Turns around quickly and puts it right in. Devontae Gardner's got 8. And off the bench, 17 points for the Marquette Golden Eagles, averaging about 31 a game.
Get a 6'7" guy in Jamil Wilson who can look over the top line of the defense to a 6'8" Devontae Gardner. Good size. It's a great pass down there. And a good answer by LSU.
Charles Carmouche is 5 for LSU.
That's something they need to do more of. The guards got to put the ball on the floor, get aggressive, and start attacking. Try and get the Eagles into some foul trouble.
Just about everybody touching it. That's a toe on the tape, too, for Wilson. Great ball movement for Marquette. They continue to share well, and they're back up 14. Eddie Ludwig working against Gardner. Not a lot of front court depth for LSU. Ludwig lost it. Lockett to Mayo. He doesn't have the numbers. He'll push in anyway and head to the free throw line, looking for his first points of the season. Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic from Honolulu getting kicked off today, 4 Eastern on ESPNU. Ole Miss, Indiana State. San Diego State's ranked. Arizona's one of the most fun teams in the country to watch. Miami's off to a really good start as well. They'll take on the host Hawaii.
It's no surprise to me that Arizona's in the top 5. I mean, Sean Miller, what he did at Xavier, brings that program into Arizona. He recruits well.
Great class this year, yep.
And Mark Lyons, who transferred from Xavier, is in there now. I mean, Sean Miller is right in that line of coaches where you look at somebody maybe from the Midwest, Xavier, the Butler kind of schools, put him involved in a big program, and good things tend to follow.
Is there somebody that's in a mid-major program you see that could follow that suit?
That's a good question. I mean, I think Chris Mack's doing a great job at Xavier. But I don't really consider that a mid-major school anymore. I mean, they've been fighting that identity for such a long time.
A couple of points from Mayo. Wilson comes off the floor and Cadogan's back in. Buzz Williams substitutes straight up. Wilson and Cadogan, never plays him on the floor at the same time. Same thing with Gardner and Atule. That one big guy in there. Steve Taylor Jr. is in as well for Marquette, a freshman out of Simeon who played with the aforementioned Jabari Parker the last 3 years. Lead for Marquette, their largest. Ludwig a screen trying to give Carmouche the space. Wave out the shot, a foul on the floor. We'll get that on Devontae Gardner. It'll be his first, just the 5th on Marquette.
I like that option for LSU. Ludwig comes up, sets a high ball screen. The guards put it on the floor and try and get around Gardner. Once you get around that line of defense, it's basically open. And you can make a better decision without a big body like Gardner in there to affect or block your shot.
Another LSU turnover. That's 6 now.
You know, one of the big points of emphasis from both coaches was getting in line with the 40 minutes that need to be played, not worrying about what's going on after this game, which is their holiday break. There's not a lot of students here. The building's fairly quiet. This is a pure basketball kind of game. You got to dig deep, go with the fundamentals, take care of the basketball, and play hard on defense.
Todd May will take a 3. Left it short. Offensive rebound, Cadogan. And Gardner finishes at the rim. Devontae Gardner into double figures and a chance at 3.
Great job lining up for this offensive rebound. You know, quick hands, catches the pass, and Gardner can take contact. He's not afraid to do it, and you love plays like this after this happens. The finish, that's a tough play there. Took quite a bit of contact. Losing that 40 pounds makes you stronger, fitter, faster, better hands. They say he's a point guard trapped in a big guy's body. Says he grew up playing football and soccer and baseball.
Right.
Good footwork because of soccer, good hands because of baseball.
Chris Atule back in for Gardner, who is out to a great start. 11 points in the first half, averaging 12 a game. Second leading scorer for Marquette. Good hands by Vanderblue, knocking it out. Breakout game against St. John's. I got a chance to see it in this building. And one big half, especially in a half where Darius Johnson, Odom, and Jay Crowder didn't necessarily have their best offensive games. Gardner really picked up the slack. He looked like a completely different player since that moment. Carmouche gets past Vanderblue but can't finish at the rim. And then a foul against LSU. That'll be Carmouche. That seemingly was a frustration foul, his second.
These are the kind of plays that can demoralize a team. You're already down quite a bit. You're trying to fight to get back into it. Then you get called for the silly touch foul on your way back down. It's a double negative. It doesn't equal on a positive.
I'm trying to calculate that in my head. I'm not going to try. Mathematics above my head, clearly.
Algebra 101 is about as much as you're going to get me doing here.
Here's a Atule at the line. Missed just about all of last season. 8th game of the year against Washington. That was at Madison Square Garden. Ended up tearing his ACL. And an injury-plagued career for Chris Atule. You see, where's the goggles? Was born with one fully functioning eye. He's got a glass eye. He's been wearing those goggles pretty much his entire basketball career.
Isn't that amazing to think, you know, in basketball, you have to have peripheral vision. You got to be able to know what's going on each side of you. So to be able to play at this level in the Big East as a starter with just one functioning eye is pretty tremendous. He's had foot problems and knee problems. I know they're really happy to have him back on the floor this year.
A traditional big guy. He just made 2 free throws. He's a 40% free throw shooter. And Buzz Williams jumped up off the bench and started waving his hands around. Very proud of what Atule has done. Marquette with 43 points in this first half. A team that averages 68 a game already with 43. Really a 5 on Hickey, 20 on the shot clock still. Got the runner to go. Second field goal for Anthony Hickey, the sophomore.
See, the plays are there. The guards put it on the floor. You get past the first line of defense, and that middle spot around that Big East logo,
right.
That shot's open.
Blue against Hammock, and they're going to call an offensive foul, a push-off against Vander Blue. That'll be his second foul.
See where he gets called for the foul there. Oh, you know what that is? That's the Jordan left-hand push-off against Brian Wilson. Russell.
Yeah, Brian Russell.
Sorry,
Game 6. Game 6, 98.
Held his hand up at the free throw line. I knew that was the end.
Yeah. Hickey with his second consecutive field goal, 7 points. Guy is a true point guard, does just about everything well, scores, passes, leads the SEC in steals. There's Blue for 3. Otule, those long arms, tipped it, couldn't corral. Here comes LSU. Stringer, tough shot. That'll take us to a timeout on the floor. Marquette put up 47 points on Wednesday night in a loss. They've already got 43 with 4 to go, and Buzz Williams has his team playing with very high energy here tonight.
Football game. Adam, Brooke.
Thanks very much, Dari. Marquette up by 17. They've led by as many as 21 here in this first half. Well, obviously the big news over the last week and a half, especially out of the Big East, has been the 7 Catholic schools deciding to leave the Big East, the 7 basketball-only schools. Target date to leave after the 2014-2015 campaign. Notre Dame is obviously headed to the ACC. Louisville is headed to the ACC. Rutgers is headed to the Big Ten. I wish it didn't have to be this way. The best basketball conference over the last 30 years with some of the best memories in all of college basketball essentially disbanding at this point.
Yeah, I agree. It's a sad time, and we're going to have to get new traditions in place and go forward with that. I mean, it's just the college landscape is changing. It's following the rules of football, and I know a lot of coaches don't like it, but Buzz Williams said that those schools, the Catholic 7, they're committed to men's basketball. It's going to be a basketball league. So that's one of the positive things to come out of it. And, my thoughts go with the Big East Conference and the folks there. They've been a great partner over the last few years, and I know they're dealing with quite a bit this year.
Wilson, tough extension over the closing in Siobhan Coleman. Gardner running all the way back on the defensive end, comes away with a steal. Good first half for Devontae Gardner, who's got double figures as well. 7 turnovers for LSU. Marquette 11 points off those turnovers.
I think it'd be a great time right now for LSU to go to a man-to-man defense. You've got 3 minutes left. Play hard man-to-man, try and get the passing lanes, create some turnovers. That's LSU defense right there. Diving on the floor for loose balls that lead to turnovers, that lead to points.
Anthony Hickey with a good first half. He's got 9 points, his 4th bucket. Down to 13. Remember, this is a 21-point game at one point, about 2.5 minutes ago or so. And Buzz Williams will use a timeout, sensing it. LSU forces 17 turnovers a game. That's something you talked about. The pace gets to teams.
Anthony Hickey, the leading steal getter in the SEC, has got 4 a game. Playing well, he had 6 assists in each of his first 4 games, and they need him. He was suspended against Chattanooga December 7th, came back a couple of days later, and they said his attitude has been tremendous. Every time he's come off the bench, we've started to make a run. So you see him inserted right now. The energy's there. Stringer got the steal, dove on the floor to keep the ball in play. Now, this is a team with a lot of fight. They're playing inspired. They love Coach Jones and what he's done with this program. The fans there feels like he's got a plan in place. Number 10 recruiting class coming in next year. There are some bright times ahead for LSU. They're looking to go retro, get good again.
Johnny Jones, first season back at LSU. Again, he interviewed for the job twice before. Back when he was an assistant, then remember he was the interim head coach at Memphis before John Calipari took over.
Recruited Shaq, Chris Jackson, got those guys in there. I can't wait to get back down there and see the Shaq statue. Have you seen it?
I have not, no. I've been to Baton Rouge a couple of times. I haven't seen it yet. 8-0 run for LSU over the last 2.5 minutes to cut a 21-point lead down to 13. Gardner triple team. Somebody's got to be open. Tried to get it to Wilson. Good effort by Lockett to try to save it, but LSU comes away with it.
That's a night and day looking zone defense than what we've seen in the beginning half of this first half here.
Here's Hammock. Well short. Going to stay at this end of the floor. Last touch by Marquette. 26 to shoot.
And I get that it's open, but what are the shots that have worked for you this far? Short jumpers attack the basket. I'm not saying go away from your game plan of shooting threes, and Hammock's a good three-point shooter, but attack. Keep chipping away at that lead.
Spot up shooter Thomas comes in for Marquette. Three could bring the lead down to 10 points. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Travel, 7 to shoot. Hickey left it short. Del Piero couldn't squeeze. Hickey runs it down. Stringer, a mismatch against Gardner, and Gardner with great hands knocked it away from behind.
It's like a shortstop picking up a quick rounder.
Something that Devontae Gardner just doesn't get as much credit for as he probably should. Despite that big body, how athletic he can be. Lockett to Cadogan, out to Thomas, a three. Wilson flying in, tipped into the hands of Lockett and a fresh shot clock, but a double dribble against Trent Lockett. John Cal had the call. He was standing right in front of Lockett. I think he got the right call there.
He did. I watched it as well.
Minute 15 left. ESPN College Basketball available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Watch ESPN.com. Of course, the Watch ESPN app. Available at the App Store, Google Play, and Xbox 360.
I think it'll work while you're Christmas shopping out there. Keep it on.
That doesn't look awkward walking around, you know, Macy's with an iPad.
There's nothing awkward about people using technology anymore. Everybody's face is always buried in their phone anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually tweeting right now. Sending texts.
I am not. Don't get me in trouble. Definitely not.
A minute to go, first half. Here's O'Brien, the third. Otule closed out on him. The rebound to Anderson, and here comes Marquette. 4-minute field goal drought until Otule gets the offensive rebound and the putback. First field goal for the 6'11" redshirt senior out of Richmond, Texas. Coleman knocks down a three. Back down to a 12-point game. Shot clock turned off, though. This was a 21-point lead in this first half. Marquette trying to close out strong. Mayo, the clock down to 5. Wilson. Mayo at the buzzer, and he got it blocked. Good effort by Siobhan Coleman, 10th block of the season. He closes out this first half, and LSU trailed by 21. They cut it down to 12 before the halftime break, when Marquette still with an excellent first half. We go to the K Jewelers halftime report. Here's Dari Noka. Welcome back to Holiday Hoops, presented by K Jewelers from Milwaukee. A 12-point lead for Marquette, which is at one point 21 in that opening half of play. Back with Brooke Weisbrod, Adam Amin. Marquette shot over 50% of the first half. They shared the basketball. That's something that Marquette likes to do. Push the tempo, share the basketball. They did it well, rotating a lot in the first half.
They absolutely dissected the 2-3 zone of LSU. Marquette, the spacing was tremendous. They've got a ton of different players scoring. And watching this sequence, all 5 guys will touch it. You start off with a triangle on the one side. And look how LSU has to adjust. You said 2 guys here, 2 guys there. 2 guys at the top of the key, and that leads to an open 3-point shot. The spacing for Marquette, that's almost impossible to guard against a 2-3 zone. They've just extended LSU out of their comfort zone.
10 assists on 17 field goals from Marquette. They didn't shoot well from three-point range. They were 15 of 21 inside the arc, and they dominated the paint. They dominated in bench points. Again, Devontae Gardner coming off the bench, their second leading scorer, certainly helps that cause. But Jamil Wilson and Todd Mayo, everybody got involved in that opening half of play for Marquette. And LSU did cut the lead down to 12 after trailing by 21 in the first half. Marquette on a 14-game home win streak. Good start for Johnny O'Brien III. He had 4 points in the first half. He's a double-double guy, capable of going off every single night. The game is now a 10-point game.
I liked how he got low and got around Otule before the double team from Marquette could come. Because that's what they did to him all first half. He had to kick it back out, but that time got the ball and quickly made a move before the other defender could get there.
Same starting five for Marquette that started the game. A little more of what Brooke was talking about. Everybody touching it. Cadogan ends up with a solid jump shot for 2. 4 points for the senior from Toronto.
Again, I'm a little surprised to see LSU coming back out in, again, that 2-3 zone, considering how well Marquette picked it apart in the first half. I don't see why you wouldn't go to a man-to-man for a couple of minutes, see if you continue to make a dent, get these guys more active. And that was the big point for me in that first half. LSU was not active on the defensive end, and that's just not the characteristic of this team.
Carmouche going to get called. No, it's going to be a blocking foul. John Cal had the call on the backside. They're going to get fouled on Trent Lockett. That'll be his first. LSU with 4 of its 5 starters on the floor. Siobhan Coleman, their leading scorer, comes in off the bench, and he starts the second half for Andrew Del Piero. Neither of these teams is overly big. They don't have a ton of size on either side.
This halftime report is presented by Kay Jewelers.
Hickey against Blue. Leaves it off for Coleman. Comes Marquette. LSU struggled from three-point range early in this game. They closed out a little better. They're 5 of 17, though, from outside. Lockett, the pitch. Anderson closed out. Knocked out by Siobhan Coleman. LSU got out-rebounded by 6 in the first half.
Well, this was supposed to be a quick hitter set play, but Coleman and O'Brien III got stuck up at the elbow, and then no guys went in to get that rebound. You sent a couple guys back to stop the transition, but Marquette hasn't really done a whole heck of a lot with that today. And you watch the 2-3 zone, the 2 top guys here are sagging toward the elbows. Their hands aren't active. There's no talk. There's 0 talk out there.
Cadogan hoists one up with a shot clock winding down. Here comes Hickey, fending off Lockett. And Hickey takes it all the way in. He's got double figures, 11 points for Hickey, and it's back down to 10.
That move's really hard to make. It's that European hesitation step, and he finished with the left hand. You got to sell the defense that you're going one way and extend that leg, jumping off your right leg.
Hickey comes out with the numbers for LSU, and it's down to a single-digit game. They trail by 21. It's down to 8.
Again, Anthony Hickey coming in, sparking this club to play a little harder. The inspiration's there. Watch this European step here by Hickey. Very nice, but he jumped off his left leg. Finished with the left hand. LSU maybe on the comeback.
For Marquette, this is their 3rd game against an SEC opponent. They beat Mississippi State earlier this season. Then they had to go down to Gainesville in a matchup that Buzz Williams said was the toughest he's ever coached against. Toughest team he's ever had to coach against. This Florida Gator team that is about as good as anybody else in the country right now. They're stacked. Boynton, Rosario, Murphy, big bodies, good guards, excellent shooting. Patrick Young's excellent as well on the boards. This guy's a beast down low. There's Murphy, 82-49 loss for Florida in one of Buzz Williams' toughest coach games.
I think Bo Ryan would say the same thing, because Florida put a big whooping on Wisconsin as well. They're a tough team. Billy Donovan is always, you never know what's going to come out of Florida. It could be a Final Four team. There's always good athletes, 3-point shooters, defensive rebounder kind of guys. It's a tough program.
Junior Cadogan will go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. It's an 8-point game. You're going to get a foul on Andre Stringer. It'll be his second. But again, a 21-point deficit in the first half, down to 12 at the halftime break, and down to 8 here. Marquette perfect at the line, 9 of 9 in the first half. Junior Cadogan has 5 points, making his 93rd career start. Unheralded point guard, I think. I think underrated guy in the Big East last year, because Johnson, Odom, and Crowder probably got more of the play. Cadogan was the guy who was setting those guys up.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the best asset to the team for him is making sure guys are in the right position, getting the ball to him, and he's led the way this afternoon. The spacing's been there. I mean, that's your point guard. They have got to set the tone as far as how the offense is going to be run. Cadogan is locked in defensively. He talks well. He's a great leader for this club.
Good finish by Johnny O'Brien III. Had 4 the entire first half. He's got 4 quick ones in the first 3+ minutes here in the second.
Every time O'Brien's run down the floor, he's limping. Something happened. I think it was that first half when, I don't know if his ankle got rolled over or a little knee tweak here or there, but it's still affecting his game. He's not getting the lift. He's not getting the sprinting like he was before that happened.
Hickey on the block foul, his second.
The play again from O'Brien. When he makes these quick moves before that other double team can get there, he's been successful. Good face up. Explosive first step. Now, Gardner's got good footwork, but he's not quite as quick as O'Brien.
There's a lot of NBA scouts here today. Marquette staff was telling us about it. They're mostly here to see Johnny O'Brien III, the sophomore out of Cleveland, Mississippi. Still an 8-point game.
Hands are still down for LSU.
Thomas the 3. Wanted by the Tigers. This is as close as they have been since trailing by 21. Carmouche will have a chance to cut further into the deficit. Again, Devontae Gardner, that'll be his second foul. Charles Carmouche has an interesting connection to Buzz Williams, although not directly. Played at the University of New Orleans for a year. That's Buzz's old team that he was at before he took an assistant job at Texas A&M. Charles got displaced by Hurricane Katrina, so he transferred to Memphis, which is Johnny Jones's old team. He was an assistant and interim head coach at Memphis. And all of a sudden, Carmouche knocks down a couple, and it's down to a 6-point game. Marquette ice cold to start this second half. Cadogan to Wilson. Couldn't get the roll. Tipped and corralled by Coleman. It's a 2-possession game. LSU has this crowd stunned right now. A 10-4 run to start the half. Hickey buries a 3, and it's down to a 3-point game.
Siobhan Coleman was down helping Johnny O'Brien out against Gardner, so they couldn't get the ball inside, and Marquette's getting a little lazy here on the offensive end. They're not driving and looking to kick. We saw that inside the play where they moved the ball around to all 5 guys. That's gone away here early in the second half.
What a play by Hickey.
Defensively, LSU is starting to get more active. Hickey's really getting in there.
Marquette corralled it, still 17 to shoot. Vanderblue. They just look panicked right now, Marquette. Here comes Carmouche to Stringer to tie the game. Got it down! A 21-point lead has been erased by LSU. Buzz Williams takes a timeout in a silent gymnasium right now in Milwaukee.
The Tigers have hushed up the Golden Eagles here with some tremendous 3-point shooting. That's just a great screen and roll. Open shot there. Anthony Hickey, this guy has led the comeback here. Played tremendously. They're spacing now. The advantage is going to LSU. They're looking for the next open guy. A couple of shots fall. The confidence is there. Maybe 1 or 2 guys start hitting their threes. And again, this is a good 3-point shooting team. They hit 10 against Boise State, 9 against 3 other teams. They've got multiple shooters and a bunch of different weapons. Tremendous comeback here for LSU. like the other day when everybody turned off the Patriots game. Like, 31-3, they're out of it.
Well, when you got good
Turn
offensive
back in.
players, yeah, good shooters, they can get you right back into it. At one point, at the 5:12 mark of the first half, it was a 21-point advantage. So just about 10 minutes of game time later, LSU has cut that lead away. The active hands for LSU. Still 12 to shoot. Here comes Cadogan. They'll get the two to jump back in front. Johnny O'Brien III was trying to draw the charge.
It's exactly what they needed right there. Junior Cadogan taking the ball to the basket, trying to create contact, get to the line. Good finish there.
Andre Stringer with a quick shot, blew back the other way, and he gets fouled by Siobhan Coleman. How about this? Brooks said it. Johnny Jones's team is a fighting team. They will battle. They battle back from 21 down. Marquette was up by 21 in the first half, up by 12 at halftime. LSU has come back to tie it. Now they trail by 2, but they're right back in this game, and a big reason why is Anthony Hickey, a true point guard who can do everything, steal, score, just about everything well.
Tremendously active, one of their leaders. He's a sophomore out of Kentucky. Johnny Jones says his attitude since the suspension December 7th has been tremendous. Every time he says this guy comes off the bench, it sparks a run. So LSU leaving a mark on Marquette, and it's a Hickey, and it's not the good kind of Hickey.
14 points, 6 of 11 from the floor. You see 5 rebounds at 5 feet 11 inches tall. When he rebounds it, the pace seems to get faster for LSU, and they're a hectic team in terms of their pace sometimes.
Well, both teams like pace, and when LSU kind of caught Marquette sleeping for a little while, they were lackadaisical on the offensive side, getting lazy with their passes. LSU kept chipping away, becoming a little more focused. Now, they still have their hands down on that 2-3 zone. I don't like that. I think you need to be more active and talk better, but they're doing also a great job of compacting it in, making Marquette trying to beat them from the outside. They're limiting their offensive rebounds, and then they're coming back down in the shots that weren't falling for them in the first half. Those quick threes, driving to the basket, now they're starting to fall, and that's the reason this game is tight.
Lou missed the free throw. Run down by Cadogan, out of bounds to LSU, down by 3. Six of 8 from the floor, LSU to start this second half. You see some pressure from Marquette here. 2-2-1. Marquette falls back in that zone. Carmouche to Coleman, that's a 2. Nearly got a very friendly bounce, and here comes Marquette. Tule bodying up against O'Brien down low. A lot of time. Clock down to 10. Now Cadogan goes to work. Against the zone. The pitch to the corner and a Wilson 3. Patient possession for Marquette. They've got a 6-point lead again.
He created why and how, because Cadogan put the ball on the floor and drew the defense in, and then you've got relocation there by Wilson in the corner for the open 3.
Bryant, they send that double back at him, forcing a very tough shot. You said you wanted to see him get the ball down low and work very quickly instead of what he just did. And Cadogan comes right back, just like a leader usually does. His 3rd field goal of the second half. Hickey, way out of control. Carmouche just hoists it up. A foul will be called against Marquette. We're going to get Junior Cadogan for it. That'll be his first foul of the night, but Cadogan, very impressive at the other end.
Well, I love watching guys who love contact, and that is Junior Cadogan all the way. He will drive and look for a body to go up against to try and draw the foul. He's got good elevation and hang time, and he's a strong guy, so he can take some contact when he's going up for that drive and still keep his balance. And take a seat on the bench. He got called for that foul because he undercut his legs. It wasn't necessarily anything else other than that, but still warrants the call.
LSU looks very young at times. You get that sense?
Yeah, they do. And O'Brien's working hard on that post to try and move Otule out of the way, but you're talking a couple of inches and quite a few pounds there. He's trying to move. Chris isn't going anywhere.
Another tough shot forced by the Marquette defense against Johnny O'Brien III. 57-49. We were tied for a moment, and now Marquette's running. Wilson knew that was off the mark, and he ran down his own rebound.
Love that. Don't love the shot, but love the effort after.
Active hands there. They're going to get a traveling violation. And LSU forces a Marquette turnover. They take over 57-49. Marquette has pushed the lead back up after LSU came back to tie the game. Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers from Milwaukee. Marquette back up 8 after LSU came back to tie it from down 21. Big East SEC matchup, so let's dive into Brooks' top players from both those conferences. Let's start in the Big East.
Sean Kilpatrick, I think with Kashmir right, that Cincinnati team makes a strong argument for the best backcourt in the Big East. And you saw Jack Cooley play last night. Yeah. Great offensive rebounder, best in the Big East. He plays smart, he plays hard, he's in good shape. Russ Smith had 19 in a come-from-behind win against Memphis. This guy's underrated. Let's move over to the SEC. Lawrence Bowers out of Missouri missed last season with a knee injury, scoring 16 a game. A leader of that ball club, Mike Rosario, Billy Donovan, and his teammates love his dedication, his aggressiveness, and B.J. Young, hey, Arkansas fans are just happy he didn't declare for the draft.
Right.
A do-it-all kind of player, very talented group within the SEC and the Big East.
Rosario, the transfer from Rutgers in his second season playing for the Gators. 8-point game. Marquette led by 21 of the first half. LSU came back to tie it. Marquette's been running. They're back up by 8. Inside of 12 to go.
More aggressive, extended man-to-man now from Marquette. They're trying to put this thing away right now.
Stringer takes a 3. Knocks it down. Andre Stringer's second 3 of the second half. His 4th 3 of the game.
Well, he's only 5'10", but Johnny Jones really likes Stringer off the ball. He moves well, he sets up and gets in a good position. He's got a great leaping ability, too, on that shot.
Active hands from LSU, forcing a Marquette turnover. Here's Hickey for 3. Offensive rebound for Coleman, and he got bumped. Devon Coleman, the team's leading scorer, will get a Tule on his second foul. Later on tonight, one of the nation's top teams is on ESPNU. Rick Pitino's Cardinals, number 5 in the country, led by Peyton Siva. We're not Peyton Siva on that one.
I know.
I'm just saying. I'm not blaming you. Western Kentucky taking on Louisville in Nashville, 8:30 Eastern on ESPNU.
Russ Smith, he doesn't get enough love, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I actually really do agree with you about Smith. Peyton Siva gets a lot of the play because he was the preseason player of the year, led that charge to the Final Four, but you're right, Smith is a great compliment. Johnny Jones's team sees another turnover go to Marquette, 57-52. Golden Eagles have the lead with 11 minutes to go. Dugan steps into an 18-footer. Here comes Stringer. Carmouche closed out by the taller Jamil Wilson.
Now no Johnny O'Brien's in the game, so you're not going to look for Piero in the post. They're just not going to look for him as a scoring option. So you're going to see some outside shots. These guards got to put the ball on the floor to create.
Piero's into the rebound. Stringer knocks down another 3, his 5th of the game. He's got 17 points, and it's back down to 2.
He said, I've not been a good shooter throughout my career. The percentage has not been where I want it to be. He said he was going to put extra time in the gym, take some shots. In a big game like this, that's when those things start to show.
Coleman, the knockaway. What a save. Coleman back to the rim, and it's back to a tie game halfway through the second. Big play by Charles Carmouche to save that ball on the sideline.
Well, that's happened a few times already this season. The LSU guys are known to get on the floor, diving, running into the scores table, getting out in the lanes, continuing with the defense. This is so active here for the Tigers.
Wave out the basket. What a mistake by Carmouche. Offensive basket interference. That one was going to roll in, it looked like, from Hickey, which would have given LSU its first lead since the first minute of this game.
Well, let's keep in mind this play here to see if it turns anything around, but let's see. You know what, Adam?
Yeah, I think it's going to roll off. I think you're right.
But it was definitely interference on Carmouche.
Yeah, from here, this angle from courtside, it did look like it was going to roll in. You're probably right. That's probably going to roll out, but coming right back, Carmouche with a steal. And foul on Jamil Wilson gives LSU an opportunity to take a lead. But these are two fun teams to watch, but at times both of them have been sloppy tonight.
Well, Marquette emphasized taking care of the basketball against this LSU defense, and that's just sloppy. And this is a team, LSU, that averages 11 steals a game because they scramble on the floor. They look for you to make the mistake, to bait you into making that pass in the lane because they're so quick that they can react to go get it. Marquette just got to hold down right now. See the pass, make the pass.
First LSU lead since the opening 45 seconds of this game. 58-57. They trailed by 21 in the first half at around the 5-minute mark. Cut it down to 12. Tied the game here in the second half. And now Charles Carmouche has given them the lead. A 1-point advantage as he splits a pair at the line. Marquette trying to move the ball quickly against the zone. Vanderbilt's open for the lead. First field goal of the second half for Vanderbilt. 2-point advantage for Marquette. And Devontae Gardner's trying to get the crowd on its feet.
That shot was open because it's the responsibility of the back line of the zone. If there's a guy standing out on the wing, that back line has to go out and defend that three-point shot. Once the guard gets there, you can push him back down. But that shot was too open for Vanderbilt.
Well, Bryant can't connect, and it's knocked out last touch by LSU. Marquette basketball back up by 2. Thomas to Wilson. He got fouled, and he got it to go! A chance at a 4-point play for Jamil Wilson.
This is exactly what Marquette needs right now. The spacing, that corner shot. You don't get there in time enough to contest the foul, and great concentration too here at the end by Wilson. And that shot's not easy to make anyways in the corner, but to do it with somebody running at you, making contact, and to hold your follow through is pretty special.
After that 3 into double figures, Jamil Wilson. Right back up by 6 points.
Buzz Williams said that Jamil may have only been the only bright spot on the team against that game against Green Bay. Team high 16 points. And that 3 came at a time when Marquette desperately needed some kind of something to get back going.
Here's Corbin Collins, who started the game, the true freshman, back in at the point for LSU. O'Brien working against Gardner. He's had a tough night shooting the basketball.
That's not his strength right now. I think his strength is catching it on the block and trying to get around Gardner with his footwork.
Kadugan knocks it down in transition. Back up to 8.
Because you know why, Adam? A shot like Johnny O'Brien, what he just took, that leads to an easy rebound for Marquette and a transition score. Then the momentum starts to shift.
Blue guards Hammock. Carmouche. Draw a bump on the floor, and that'll take us to a timeout. LSU keeps coming back. They took a short-lived lead at the 9-minute mark. Marquette right back up by 8. Dari Noka's got a studio update when we come back on the other side. ESPN News exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with Kay. Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers. An 8-point advantage for Marquette with 7:20 remaining. Back with Brooke Weisbrod, Adam Amin. This is a strange ball game. At times it's been sloppy. It's been fun to watch. Marquette still trying to close out LSU at times where they have had opportunities. I'm still trying to figure out what LSU is going to be doing. What type of LSU team is this?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, they've kept with the same game plan throughout this entire game. Shooting threes, they've stayed in that 2-3 zone. They've tried to get active. And really what they've done is catch Marquette sleeping. His passes have been sloppy, and they've taken advantage. They hit the shots that they weren't hitting in the first half. The three-point shots, the close bunnies, they're trying to draw fouls. Right. So it really is going to come down to which team plays more aggressively in this last 7 minutes. Well,
Vanderblue is one of 4 in double figures for the Marquette Golden Eagles. He's hit some big shots here in the second half, including a huge 3.
Listen, the last 6 games, this guy's averaging 16 points. He's shooting close to 50% from the floor and behind the 3. When you got guys like Junior Cadogan who can drive, Vanderblue comes around behind him, finds the open lane. Finds spacing against the 2-3 zone to line up for that 3-point shot. Shooting well, 5 of 9, 2 rebounds, 12 points tonight for Vanderblue. A great scorer and a great other option. When Junior Cadogan puts the ball on the floor, Vanderblue relocates and finds an open shot.
Team's leading scorer averaging about 13 a game. For Johnny O'Brien III, Gardner the double team. Coleman trying to dump it off.
It's a second too late on that pass. It was open.
Good job by Coleman to come back and knock it away. Numbers for the Tigers. Johnny O'Brien III. Offensive foul drawn by Devontae Gardner.
I absolutely love charges. And go ahead, big boy. Get your position, take that contact, and fall. You do volleyball, isn't that what you do? After you spike it or something?
Yeah, after you spike it, you roll over on the floor. That's what people do.
I've never played volleyball a day in my life.
Third foul on Johnny O'Brien III, who is 4 of 14 from the floor. The Marquette defense has really forced him into tough shots tonight. Cadogan looking for a seam. The pitch to Thomas, a 3. Job by Coleman to square that rebound.
Solid D there by the Tigers. Stayed in front of him, contested the shot, and boxed out.
Hickey behind the O'Brien screen. Runner off the glass wouldn't go. Coleman couldn't squeeze it. Thomas diving on the floor, and it stays with LSU.
Both teams today being very active, getting on the floor. It's turning into quite a physical game this afternoon. And Johnny O'Brien came up top to set a screen, but more of a phantom screen than anything. It led to a bad shot for LSU. You know, be solid. Set that screen so you can pick and roll, or you pick and pop. I mean, you're not blocking anybody. You're not hindering anybody's progression.
Gardner out, a Tule back in. For the starting 5 out there for Marquette. They've got Jamil Wilson, who's had a good game off the bench in there. Tigers scuffling. Last 7 possessions, 2 turnovers, 0 of 5 from the field. No offensive rebounds. Inside of 6 minutes to go. Hickey with a lot of white jerseys around him, kept it alive. O'Brien III trying to squeeze it, looking for position. And he cuts it back to a 6-point game.
That's a way to stay tough. There's a lot of traffic. It'd be easy to lose the basketball, and a lot of Marquette hands active there, but O'Brien kept his concentration just enough to get some clearance and some space to get the shot.
In the double figures with 10. Patient possession again for the Golden Eagles inside of 10 of the shot. Shot clock down to 4. Cadogan forces up a 3. LSU trying to squeeze. Hickey couldn't get it, and let's see what the call is here. Michael Stevens is saying timeout, Johnny Jones and LSU. .506 to go. You said it, it's been a physical game. It's turned into a real slugfest in the second half ever since LSU came back to erase a 21-point deficit.
Yeah, this is nothing but a loose ball fumble here. A bunch of guys on the floor again. You tripped up a little bit. Hickey does. 3 white jerseys on the floor. Where are the other purple guys to help him out?
Lockett went down for Marquette to try to help out. Johnny Jones uses a timeout. Still 3 left. Marquette has 2. You see the Tigers off to that horrid shooting start tonight. They got down by 21 in the first half. Don't forget, when we're done here in Milwaukee, we'll send you all the way out west to Honolulu, Hawaii, where it is slightly warmer than it is here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ole Miss and Indiana State at 4 Eastern. Good matchups tonight. You'll see number 18, you'll see number 4, and at 12:30 for you Night Owls on the East Coast. Good Miami team, Jim Larinaga's club, will take on Hawaii. This is what we got coming out for you. Marshall Henderson against Jake Odom, the 2 leading scorers for these 2 teams. Ole Miss has a lot of front court talent. Buckner and Holloway and those guys. Indiana State plays in a very good valley. 6-point lead Marquette. LSU ball inside of 5 to go. Here is Stringer. He's hit some big ones tonight. Coleman is there for the offensive rebound, and it's back down to 4. 11 for Coleman. Tule out for the screen and a Cadogan 3. Big second half for Junior Cadogan. His 5th field goal here in half number 2.
And the times when the game has gotten at its tightest, it's been Junior Cadogan who stepped up and asked for that ball. So we've said all game long, Marquette's looking for the guy. Junior Cadogan has become the guy here in the second half.
And a foul away from the ball against LSU. Against Siobhan Coleman. That's his 4th foul of the night now. 6 on LSU. Marquette will be in the bonus the rest of the way with 4:07 remaining. Marquette has been very good at the foul stripe tonight, 13 of 14.
That was the key assistant Jerry Wainwright talked to me about before the game. He said whoever gets and makes the most free throws, I think, is going to have a big factor in winning this game. You know, he talked about wanting to get into LSU's 2nd string to get those guys into foul trouble.
Great Jerry Wainwright from the coach at DePaul. Wilson, pitch to Blue. Going all the way to the rim. Got the 2 and the foul. Big time bucket for Vander Blue, and Marquette is back up by 9.
Vander Blue continues to find the open spots on the floor. Gets a hold of the ball and bowls over Johnny O'Brien III. Marquette is getting comfortable in this lead.
Dari, thanks. Good effort by Texas after beating North Carolina earlier this week. Junior Cadogan has turned into, like you said, the guy in this game for Marquette.
Yeah, no question. He's been all over the place, but he's really carried the basketball well. And what I mean by that is he's dictating the pace of this game. He's playing fast at him, but he's playing under control. You look for contact. You look for your open shot. It looks smooth. Let the tongue stick out, too, at the end. It's like a little, you know, the Kobe with the underbite. Cadogan's got the tongue sticking out. 6 of 10, 15 points, 6 assists so far here in this game for Cadogan. Tremendous game.
Junior Cadogan, see the one-on-one update. Siobhan Coleman has turned it up here a little bit in the second half. Back to a 10-point game after LSU had a short-lived 1-point lead at the 9-minute mark after erasing a 21-point deficit in the first half. 3 off the mark from Hickey. At times it feels like Cadogan has been the only guy on the floor that is under control. That's something that you and I noticed over the course of, you know, what is it now, the first 36 minutes or so of this game. LSU will have 2 great possessions, then they'll have 3 bad shots in a row. Marquette will have 2 good possessions, then they'll do nothing for 30 seconds and hope that Cadogan does something right. He's been the only one at times on the floor that has been under control. There's not been a lot of offensive rhythm, really, for either team. And like you said, there's been a couple of series of good shots and then 2 or 3 bad shots right in a row in a rush. Now, for LSU, if they're able to climb back in this game, and I certainly don't want to count them out because at 21 down, they already came back, but you got 2 key guys with 4 fouls right now, Johnny O'Brien and Siobhan Coleman, both with 4. Cadogan continues the good Marquette night at the foul line. 16 of 17 at the stripe, back up to a 12-point game. Inside of 3.5 to go. Marquette 7-3, LSU 7-1. Non-conference matchup. Conference season just around the corner. Marquette showing 2-3 zone. They're going to a man after the first pass. So again, puts LSU 1 step behind. You think you're going to run your offense to a 2-3 zone. Instead, you got to make a change with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Hickey working from the elbow. Banked it in. Third field goal the second half for Hickey. He's got 16 points. And that's a turnover. Cadogan lost it. Good pressure from Stringer. Hickey's been the guy to make things happen today for LSU. He's been their most confident guy on the floor today. Creating turnovers, been on the floor, finding open guys here just like this. Stringer hits a big 3, his 6th 3 of the game, and it's back down to a 7-point game. Stringer with 20 points, 12 of them here in the second half, all on 3s. Stringer came over for the double with Coleman. Foul is called on LSU, but how about Andre Stringer tonight, the junior? He's been a guy who's averaged 10 points for his entire career, but he wants to step that up. He said he wants to be a better shooter this season. 37% from behind the 3-point line. He's done a great job today. His elevation and his stroke looks very pure, and when you get that kind of open shot, you got to just fire it right away. He's not thinking about it, Adam. If he's open, he's letting it fly. Season high 20 tonight. And with the foul strike. LSU trailed by 21. They cut it to 12 at the half. They tied it and took the lead here in the second half. And Vanderblue trying to keep the Tigers at arm's length. Good shooting at the foul line. 2.5 to go, 9-point game. Wilson the double on O'Brien the third. Here's Carmouche for 3. He got fouled and will have 3 shots coming. Trent Lockett fouled the jump shooter. This allows LSU to cut back into the deficit with the clock stopped at 2:16. Trent Lockett just fouled a 25% 3-point shooter. Got him on the elbow. Carmouche hit 3s well the last couple of years at Memphis, but a really tough start to his shooting this year. As Brooke mentioned, 25%. He's got 9 assists though today. It's been his biggest contribution, now 9 points. I should make that 10 assists now, double figures in assists for Carmouche. Shows LSU to be closer to his 2-year-old daughter. Senior out of New Orleans knocks down all 3 free throws, and it's a 6-point game with 2:16 left. Gardner handling the basketball, looking for a guard. He'll find Lockett at the rim. Got it blocked initially, got it knocked away, and LSU forces a turnover. Here come the Tigers. Inside of 2 minutes to go. Johnny O'Brien the third. The kick out to Stringer. Back to O'Brien the third. Throws it down, and it's a 2-possession game. There it is. That's something that could have been open for LSU this entire game. Put the ball on the floor, draw the defense, and O'Brien relocates to find an open spot. Great finish and dunk there by O'Brien. LSU with hands all over the place, and they're going to get a foul on Marquette against Vanderblue. So let me change that up. They're going to call it on Cadogan instead. Good series here for LSU. Stringer gets the ball. The defense is drawn out. He puts it on the floor. And look,
but Gardner has to commit because he's in the middle of the lane. There's no help side defense that slides down to get O'Brien.
You said the Big East logo, middle of the floor, near the foul line, get into that against the zone, and finally they did it.
It's been open all game, I'm telling you. You know, LSU continued to shoot the three, but at the same time that I'm critical of it, it's the thing that's gotten them back in this game. You know, Stringer's got, what, 6 or 7 threes today? So it's worked for them, but that, I think going back into this game now, you know, you're down only 4 points. The shot selection is so critical right now. If it's open and it's an open three and you feel good, take it. But why not put the ball on the floor? Try and create the foul. Slow this clock down. You're only down 4. But I think the longer this game goes on and the longer LSU makes this game, Marquette could get a little more nervous.
Siobhan Coleman, team's leading scorer, coming in off the bench in the middle of that defense. He guards Wilson. Inside of 90 seconds to go, 4-point game.
LSU's in man-to-man.
Gardner getting past O'Brien the third. Beautiful finish. Back to a 6-point lead with 1:20 left.
Soft touch by the big man.
First field goal, first points in the second half. He's got 13 tonight. Stringer. O'Brien, the third, is there to flush it, and it's back down to a 4-point game with a minute to go. Marquette still has 1 timeout left. Blue brings it up. Vanderblue all the way to the rim, and he missed the layup. Tigers down by 4. Carmouche. Get a foul against Marquette. They'll hustle to get back by Lockett, but he'll get whistled for it.
Vanderblue is going to kick himself for this one. Doesn't finish high enough off the glass and leads to another transition for LSU. This is right what they want. Carmouche is a guy who's not afraid of contact, just like Junior Cadogan. He looks for it on the fast break. Clock is stopped. Now they're only down 4 with a great chance to get into firing range here for LSU.
10 of 11 at the foul line, LSU tonight. Carmouche has now hit 4 in a row. Double-double tonight for Carmouche. Clutch free throw shooting here late. Back down to a 2-point game. 78-76, 41 seconds left. Gardner handling the basketball, gets past O'Brien the third, and he draws the foul. And he hit the deck hard.
How about this? Not only he's got good footwork, but how about the handles? The skills of the big guy. Goes down hard. Those photographers better make some space here. Here he comes. Cheerleaders didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
That's great body control and awareness, too, by Gardner.
It's 3 of 3.
2-point game, and he saw the opportunity, and I 100% agree with him taking it to the basket like that.
Tonight, Devontae Gardner. This is a big one here to make it a 2-possession game with about a 2/10 differential between the shot and the game clock. Smooth. 4-point lead. Carmouche lost it. Devontae Gardner comes out with the loose ball.
Marquette again getting into the lane, but Carmouche just loses the handle off this, dribbled it off his foot. And Devontae Gardner, great composure after this, because he wasn't wasn't anything out of spite, but O'Brien raked him across the face. He found him pretty hard, and Gardner kept us cool.
O'Brien, the third, is done. Finishes his night 7 of 17 from the floor, 14 points and 5 rebounds. Did have 3 assists as well. Tough shooting night. And Devontae Gardner with a chance to ice it at the line. Six of 6 from the free throw line, Devontae Gardner.
Checking in for Marquette, number 12, Derek Wilson, replacing Trent Lawton.
81-76 Marquette coming up next. Don't forget, got Ole Miss and Indiana State. Dari Noka will have it in the studio in a moment. Clutch performance by Devontae Gardner, who gets a big hand closing out his night. Clutch free throw shooting, and Marquette's going to survive. Hickey reverses it in. 4-point game, 12.5 left, and LSU still with 3 timeouts left. We'll use one of them here. Let's check in with the studio quickly. Here's Dari Noka. Thanks, Dari. Devontae Gardner, clutch free throw shooting down the stretch. Big performance once again for a guy who's the second leading scorer coming in off the bench, who's really matured in the last 12 months.
He only plays 20 minutes a game, but he's second on the team in scoring. He's first in rebounds. He's efficient. We talked a lot about his footwork, but he's played so composed. You know, I think that starts with Junior Cadogan. We said he's been the guy that's played under control. And Devontae Gardner has read off of that. You know, you read off a guy's energy and their composure. And Gardner with some huge plays down the stretch. He scored Marquette's last 6 points. And keep in mind, this was a 2-point ball game at one point.
12.5 left. Marquette just trying to avoid any miscues in these final dozen seconds. One timeout left. The home run ball for Gardner. And he saved it in the corner. And then he got bumped. A sly smirk on the face of Devontae Gardner. Went for the home run ball.
Yeah, you got to get on your high horse to get this one.
Stopped on a dime.
I'm telling you, he's got good footwork. This is like Big Smooth in action right here.
6'8", 290. Cutting like AD right there. Seven of 7 at the line, and these final couple of free throws could finish it off. Todd Mayo in his first game back appreciates the effort from his now 2-year teammate. Coming up next, we'll take you right to Hawaii for Ole Miss and Indiana State. Oh! 19 points for Devontae Gardner tonight. Marquette had a 21-point lead in the first half. LSU came all the way back, down 12 at half, took a lead at the 9-minute mark of the second half. The Marquette Golden Eagles look like they're about to finish this one off. Johnny Jones will call one of his final 2 timeouts. 84-80 Marquette. Let's go back to the studio. Dari Noka.
All right, Jake Odom and Indiana State again, just about to tip things off. We'll get you out there in time. Just so you know, you can also see it on ESPN3. Adam, Brooke.
Thanks, Dari. Vanderblue with some clutch shots here in the second half as well. Had 2 field goals, was very good at the free throw line. Again, looking for the guy still, Marquette right now. At times it can't be Vanderblue.
Well, there's a couple guys tonight. I think Junior Cadogan's been the guy, Vanderblue, and Devontae Gardner. But Vanderblue is a great scorer. 6'4", 200 pounds out of Madison. The last 6 games, he's averaged about 16 points. He's been very active tonight when Marquette needed a big-time score.
Another home run ball. Thomas saved it. And Marquette survives. LSU trail by 21. They took a lead in the second half, but Marquette wins its 15th consecutive game here at home. They're 8-3, LSU 7-2. For Brooke Weisbrod, Adam Amin saying so long from Milwaukee. Ole Miss and Indiana State live from Hawaii next.